is our operating manual. So I'm just going to slip that out. Now this is an important document because it shows you kind of the most important aspects for installing, for specifying, for maintaining your device. The extended version, of course, is online. You can download as well, but you can also download this document online. So we'll include a link for that, that you can read the most important information before you get started. But I'll just put that to the side for now. What we have now is actually just the product left over. So I'll just take that, put this box to the side. Okay, now we have our UPS 1600 out of the box. It's a little bit wider than the 20 and 10 amp device, but in every other aspect, it's actually identical. So, I mean, for double the output, of course, we're going to have to increase the size a bit. What we have is 8 LEDs. In this version, we have the USB version, so we have a connection down there, but that means the last 4 LEDs are not actually defined as they are for the Profinet version. The top LEDs are actually very important though, and they're the same for all devices, relevant from the output or the communication connection. We have the OK or battery LED, and that tells you whether the system is being inputted by a voltage that's okay, or what did I have to switch to my battery to maintain the output. We have the battery monitoring LED, which shows you do we have a charge larger than 85%. So if that's not lit, you're charging. We have on the bottom left then, we have the alarm LED. Now this indicates with red anytime that this device is not able to buffer. So if the fuse has been blown on your battery, or if there's a connection problem, or if your battery's not charged, completely discharged I should say, then this device cannot supply buffering, then it'll alarm and show you that indication there. And then of course we have a battery fault. Now that's an important one because that also illustrates whether the battery is the source of this alarm problem. So it could be another issue, but if the battery specifically is the problem, then it'll show you that in this LED. There's only 2 actual aspects to configure on this device. There's the threshold voltage and the buffering time. So the threshold voltage is the voltage where I decide, okay, at this point I'm going to consider this a valid input voltage. Anything below that will be buffered. So I have the ability to scale that from 21 volts to 25 volts. For networks that, the higher voltages are for networks that maybe have long distances and I have to buffer a higher voltage because of the voltage fall over distance. And then of course the buffering time. So I want to decide how long I want to illustrate or buffer these loads. Now, commonly people put it on maximum so they don't think about it, and that is acceptable. But the truth is we want to illustrate the max amount of time buffering for the system to shut down. And that's what you wanted to do to help parameterize your system and actually bring it to a safe state. So setting a specific time will let you say, okay, I can turn off the system after this amount of time and then restart it without completely depleting my batteries. As the packaging, we have some small data points here. We see that it's a 24 system with 40 amps, the MLFB for your orders, and our product state indicator. So this allows you to also monitor changes to your system. If you were to change some parameters, you can simply indicate on the front here on this little box to illustrate that the application has changed. Now, if we look at the bottom, we see a bit more of the connections that we have to wire into the system. So actually, let me angle it this way. This is better to start. So we have our main input voltage for the 24 volts that goes here, X1 plus and minus. We have the output voltage to your load, plus and minus, and the battery, the UPS 1100, you connect here with the plus and minus. Now we go to the bottom, and now we have is the connection. So those are the main terminals. Now we have the communication terminals. Now there's 14 pins, and they illustrate basically what we see displayed on the front here, but now via hard contacts for your PLC. Now they are defined all on the side. We have a printed diagram here of all the different meanings. The most important, this one comes actually pre-wired for you, is the on-off. So you have the ability to disable your DC UPS in the event of an emergency and you do not want to buffer. That would be the ability to connect that to a switch and then simply turn it off. The other one that's important to know is the battery connection, the one that goes to the actual UPS battery, the 1100, and that is with terminals 11 and 12. And lastly we have is the USB connection. Now that offers, again, all the information I have on this device, but now through communication to our software, CTEL Manager, which you can also download. And that gives you the ability to actually program this device with saved configuration files, integrated into TIA Portal, and completely control this device from remotely.